In every culture, there's a story about the ocean, about its power, its mystery, its life-giving force. We have goddesses of the sea who are beautiful and benevolent, like the gentle Amphitrite or the serene Yamanya. But what if the mother of the ocean was born not out of love, but of betrayal? What if the life she gave was a result of agonizing, heartbreaking suffering? And what if her domain is not one of gentle waves, but of an eternal cold fury? We think of the ocean as beautiful, but according to this myth, every fish, every seal, every whale is a living reminder of an unimaginable tragedy. So today, we're going to talk about the frigid world of Inuit folklore to meet Sedna, the mother of the sea. Her story is a brutal, beautiful, and deeply unsettling tale that forces us to confront the true cost of creation and the terrifying power of a broken heart. The story of Sedna is a primal tragedy. Before she was a goddess, she was a beautiful human girl living with her father by the sea. Many versions of the myth exist, but the core of her pain is a constant. In most tellings, she refuses to marry any of the young men in her village. Her father, tired of her refusal, eventually marries her off to a hunter who she believes is a handsome man, but who is revealed to be a deceptive bird spirit. The bird spirit flies her away to his desolate island. Soon, her father, heartbroken and filled with guilt, travels to the island to rescue her. He takes her back into his kayak, believing he has saved her, but the bird spirit and his flock, enraged by the theft, chase after the boat, conjuring a violent storm. The father, terrified that he will capsize and drown, makes a desperate and cowardly choice. He throws Sedna overboard to appease the spirits. So a father, who is so afraid for his own life, would rather sacrifice his daughter, and its betrayal so deep and so cruel, it resonates on some primal level. This isn't just a story about a goddess, it's about the darkest parts of human nature. So, Sedna clings to the side of this kayak, refusing to let go. Her father, in a final act of horrifying desperation, grabs his knife and begins to cut off her fingers one by one. She screams, but he doesn't stop. He cuts off the first joint, then the second, until her hands are a bloody stump. She finally sinks into the freezing water, and as she descends, her screams become the sound of waves. As Sedna's severed fingers float into the cold ocean, they do not simply vanish, they transform. The first joints of her fingers become the mighty whales and the seals. The second joints become the fish and smaller sea creatures. And from her pain, from her deepest act of betrayal and loss, comes all life in the sea. Sedna, who is now a goddess of immense power, does not rule from a palace. She rules from her own body. She lives at the bottom of the sea, where her disfigured body has fused with the ocean floor. Her long black hair is said to be as thick and vast as a forest of kelp. And all the animals of the sea, the very creatures that came from her pain are her children. She holds them in a divine and sometimes resentful embrace. You know how some people say they put their blood, sweat, and tears into their work? Sedna literally put her flesh, bone, and soul into creating all of the life in the ocean. And this is a powerful reversal of a common mythic trope. The ocean is not a gift from a benevolent god. It is a direct consequence of suffering. It's a world built on a foundation of vengeance and sorrow, and this makes Sedna a complex and terrifying figure. She is the mother of all life in the sea, but she is also the ultimate victim, and her pain is what gives her her power. So if Sedna's power comes from her suffering, what happens when humans disrespect her domain? According to the myth, when hunters violate the sacred taboos, when they are wasteful or cruel or disrespectful to the animals they take, Sedna's rage stirs. Her beautiful hair becomes tangled with the impurities of human actions. The animals of the sea, her children, become trapped in the knots and matted filth, unable to come to the surface, and this causes a famine on the land. And when the animals disappear, the Angkok, or the shaman, must take a terrifying journey. They do not just pray to Sedna, they descend into her watery realm, often by entering a trance state and transforming into a spirit animal. The journey is treacherous and filled with ice spirits and other dangers. Their destination is Sedna's hut at the bottom of the ocean. The Angkok's mission is not to plead, but to physically cleanse Sedna. They must approach her with reverence, comb her long, tangled hair, and remove the filth of human disrespect. This act of cleansing is a profound symbol of the shaman's role. They are not commanding a god. They are performing a sacred physical act of healing and restoration. And once her hair is combed, the animals are released, and the hunting can resume. It's a powerful metaphor for the balance of life and death and the absolute necessity of respecting the natural world. The taboos surrounding the sea are not random rules. They are the laws of Sedna's world, forged in her original pain. The most important rule is respect. Hunters must be respectful of the animals they hunt and the spirits of those animals. They must not waste any part of the animal, as that is a direct insult to the gift from Sedna. They cannot perform certain actions, like cutting meat in the wrong way, at sea. And these rules are not about morality as we understand it, but maintaining cosmic harmony. Breaking a taboo is not a sin. It is an act of spiritual and ecological disruption. It's like throwing a wrench into a delicate cosmic machine, and when the harmony is broken, the consequences are immediate and impersonal. Sedna's suffering is so profound that she will not tolerate any action that adds to it, even indirectly. Basically, the rule is, don't mess with the all-powerful sea goddess who has a really bad temper and the power to starve you. It's a simple and very effective life lesson. And the myth teaches that the world is unforgiving. It's a reality where your actions, no matter how small, can have massive catastrophic consequences. It instills a deep sense of humility and a constant awareness of one's place in a fragile, interconnected ecosystem. Sedna's rules are not suggestions. They are the literal key to survival. So, what can the ancient myth of Sedna, born of a father's betrayal and a daughter's pain, teach us today? We are facing a global crisis with our oceans. Overfishing, plastic pollution, climate change, and habitat destructions are now common terms. We are, in essence, cutting the fingers off the sea and throwing her children to the wolves. The myth of Sedna is a powerful, timeless warning. It tells us that disrespecting the ocean will have dire consequences. The anger of the sea, in the form of storms, climate change, and the disappearance of fish, is not a coincidence. It is the inevitable result of our actions. We, also, are breaking the taboos. We are tangling the hair of our own cosmic mother. I'm not here to preach. I'm just reading a story. It's an ancient story, but it feels like a newspaper headline from yesterday, and it's hard to ignore a myth that feels so kind of prophetic. Sedna's story reminds us that the earth is not a passive resource. It is a living, breathing, and powerful entity that feels pain. Her myth challenges us to move beyond our own greed and to embrace a deep reverence for the natural world. Because if we don't, we will face the same fate as the hunter who was starved, caught in the grip of a cosmic mother's eternal and justified rage. So the next time you look at the sea, don't just see water, see a living being, a goddess born of pain and vengeance whose children swim with the sorrow of her origin. Her story isn't just a myth. It's a cosmic lesson that has echoed for millennia. Again, I'm not preaching. I'm just reading a story. You believe what you believe. You do what you do. Live your life. That's all I have to say about that, because sometimes we get caught up in our own stuff. You know what I mean? Anyways, be good to each other. Like if you like, subscribe, comment. Have a great day.